Hello and welcome to our tutorial on how to create an invoice for Harvard Drug Group using EDI Gateway's Web EDI portal, Webgate Plus. First, log into Webgate Plus portal at webgate.edigateway.net by using Internet Explorer or Firefox, as our application is not compatible with Chrome or Edge. Enter the username and password that was provided to you by our customer service team, and then enter the security code indicated on your screen. Once completed, click on Enter or Sign In. Click on Document to access your inbox. Select the retailer that you'll be creating the invoice for. In this case is Harvard Drug Group. And then click on Search. Locate the purchase order you want to invoice, right-click, and select Create Invoice. The invoice module has header, details, summary, and tax configuration. Let's start with the header. Under Beginning segment for invoice, the date will populate as the date that you are creating the invoice. This date can be changed if necessarily. To do so, click on the arrow and select the date of which you want to invoice. Enter your invoice number. Please note that any information that you are not able to edit comes from either the PO or your profile. Scroll down to Vendor and click on Select. Select the Remit To address and click on OK. This information was entered during creating your profile under Information under Addresses. Scroll down a bit and click on Select To next to Bill To Party. Select the Bill To and then click on OK. If you had any discount, under Terms of Sales is where you would enter them. For example, if you had 10%, if paid within 10 days, or the net would be 30 in full payment, this is where you would enter the information. Once completed, you can click on Next or Details to get to the Details section. Once you are in Details section of the invoice, verify that the quantity and the unit price are accurate. To make modification in the quantity, double-click on the item and make the changes. You can do the same thing for the price unit as well. Double-click and make your changes. Click on Enter to save. Note that you cannot add any items on the invoice if they were not on the purchase order. You may edit the quantity and price if necessarily, as you can create multiple invoices per purchase order. If you want to apply an allowance or charges to an item, click on the item, right-click, and select Add Allowance or Charges. If you want to add allowance, select Allowance, Special Allowance, the amount, and then click on OK. Note that the plus sign here indicates that there is an allowance or charges. Let's add a charge onto this item. Right-click on your mouse, select Add Allowance or Charges, and here you would select Charges. Assuming the code is tax, and enter the amount, and then OK. Again, you would see that there's a plus sign here indicated that in this item there is either an allowance or a charge. To view it, simply click on the plus sign. Your next step is the summary. To go to summary, simply click on Summary at the top bar. In Summary, you may also add an allowance or charges to the entire invoice at the summary level. To do so, click on Add. Let's say we're adding allowance, freight, the amount 120, and then click on OK. There is no need for tax configuration for Harvard Drug Group. If you are satisfied with your invoice, go back to the header and click on Calculate. This indicates that if you pay your invoice by this date, you would have a discount of this amount. If your invoice is incomplete and you wish to continue later, you can save your invoice as draft. This will save your document but will not allow you to send it. If you are satisfied with the invoice, click on Save. A successful message will come to indicate that your invoice number is valid. Then click on OK. Send the invoice. You would need to go to Outbox, locate the invoice, right-click, and click on Send. Or you can select your invoice and click on Send here. If you had multiple invoices with the status valid, you may send all invoices that are valid by clicking on Send Valid. Your next step is to go into your sent inbox. There are 3 status here. There's in queue, sent, and acknowledged. In queue means that document is in our system and will soon be sent. The cycle of sending document is every 4 minutes. You can also have a sent status. This means that your document has been sent. The third status is acknowledged. This means that your document has been received by Harvard Drug Group. You will also notice the date and the time that the document was acknowledged. Know that you will be in parallel mode for 30 days with Harvard Drug Group. This means that you would have to send both paper and EDI invoices. You will receive an email from Harvard Drug Group when you're in full production. Until then, keep sending both paper and EDI invoices. Once you have received payment for your invoice, you can choose to archive your invoice. To do so, select the invoice, right-click on your mouse, and select Archive, and then OK. If you want to view your archive document, simply click on the Archive button at the top toolbar. And here is the invoice I have just archived. Congratulations! You're now ready to receive your invoice for Harvard Drug Group. Always ensure that you have received an acknowledgement for your transactions by monitoring the status 24 hours after sending your documents. If you do not have an acknowledgement after 24 hours of sending, contact your account representative at EDI Gateway. Here's how to reach us, and from all of us at EDI Gateway, we thank you for watching.